Omega Strikers, the MOBA game that presents itself as the love child of Rocket League and League of Legends. I'm a little bit late to the train, as it did come out a month ago, but I still have a lot of thoughts about the game and the current state of it. I'm going to split this video into a couple of sections, so let's start with... So far, I've played a total of 42 hours of Omega Strikers. Safe to say, coming from a different MOBA, to which I will not name, it was a smooth transition that I really did enjoy gameplay-wise. Each character feels like they bring something different to the table with a unique experience. There are 3 main roles in the game: midfielder, goalie, and forward, which in-game is only distinguished by goalie and forward. Midfielder sort of being an unofficial role that is more defined by a playstyle than it is actually distinguishable from forward. The gameplay itself proves to be really fun. It's fast-paced, and you never know what's going to really happen next. I personally find it more fun with a team of 3. Guys,
Sir, I looked at...
No!
What the fuck are you doing?
As someone who came from League of Legends, I find it being more fast-paced to be a key component as to why I like it so much. Rounds only last about a minute before going into overtime, where the core is much easier to knock around. However, teamwork is essential, and if you're not playing with a pre-main, it's much harder to climb early ranks due to that lack of communication. There is no in-game voice chat nor text chat, and that's probably for the better. Although toxicity does find a way. Between each set, you get to pick gear based on an XP gain order. This gear I think makes the game so much more fun. I personally play goalie with a focus on Atlas or Kai, so my favorites are Timeless Creator and Aerials. Although, I think a lot of the gear in this game provides so many more ways to play. One example I can think of is Ai.Mi, who can either build really into her special or into her secondary. It's a really interesting way to reward playing well, while giving a bit of assistance to players on the other team who are also doing well to help pull back to the next round. One downside to the gameplay is the interface. I think cooldowns are a bit hard to read, and they're super important to the game. If you don't have a cooldown up, and you try to use it, you've already missed your chance to strike. There could also be a sound cue when your core flip is fully charged. Overall, I think the gameplay really shines. It's super fun. One thing I am worried about, however, is the competitive part of the game. As it stands right now, you start as a rookie, and you grind up manually. The game is in its first season, so it doesn't have a database to really create a placement system, but I hope that's something that's implemented for Season 2. The characters in this game are really well written out. As someone who studies writing and wants to become a screenwriter, I can really appreciate writing good characters. Some that stand out to me writing-wise are Kai, Rasmus, and the latest 2 characters, Octavia and Vyce. I recommend checking out their storylines because they all add a sense of depth to each character. In terms of gameplay, I've tried to give a lot of them a fair shot, so I'll be going over the ones that I've played more so than the ones I haven't, as I can't really give the most fair explanation of playing them. Keep in mind, however, that I have a different playstyle than one you might have, so I really recommend trying them all out eventually, or seeing which ones cater to you. So let's speed run through the characters that I played. Juliet. She's your standard run-of-the-mill starter character. She plays a good front, but I find her kit not really interesting. She's not bad, however. Kai. Another really straightforward kit. Definitely has a low skill floor, but a decently high skill ceiling. A really good one to pick up in the beginning as a goalie. Dubu. Dubu is absolutely precious, and if anything happens to him, I will kill everyone. Estelle. Whenever I see Estelle on the enemy team, I'm instantly just a little bit more terrified. A good Estelle is devastating, but she's one of the ones that takes a bit more in order to play well. Juno. She's a monster for lower ranks. She's a really good character to pick up if you're brand new and looking for someone to play midfield. Drakkar.
Is this
honestly? I think people sleep
Can
on
you be
Drakkar goalie. I think that's
Can you be
the main
banned?
issue with society today is everyone sleeping on Drakkar goalie.
Why did you choose this?
Oh, you want to defend real quick? Okay, I'm going in.
Let me defend.
Oh, you want to defend real quick? That's fine.
Yeah.
I got this.
See, I defended it.
You fucking with me? If you get this is a moment of truth. Hold on.
Rune. Rune is insanely hard, and you can either completely troll as him, or really help out your team. Pick your poison. Era. She's super useful if people don't run away from you. Ai.Mi. I don't want to talk about it. Rasmus. I think he's one of my favorite characters in the bunch. He has a super fun kit, and as a plus is voiced by CDogVA. Hard to pick up, but once you do, it's insanely fun. Atlas. Atlas is my main. I think he's super good as a goalie. I love him and his design a lot. His shift is a bit wacky sometimes, but otherwise he's super fun. Octavia is super fun as well, but it takes a while to pick her up and utilize her well, especially her shift and special. Overall, character balancing seems to be okay. There are definitely times when characters are a bit stronger than they need to be, but that's to be expected in a MOBA. And the developing team seems to be doing okay at balancing them. So far, I haven't really felt that there aren't any characters that you just can't play. Sometimes they aren't worth picking, especially in higher ranks, but if you're playing for fun, then you won't really feel underpowered if you can utilize your character well. My biggest issue with the game is the UI and menu screens. First of all, queuing up, you're really missing a ready up screen, or an easy way to exit the queue. An X pops up, but you have to mash it a couple times before it really goes through. I think it would be extremely beneficial to add a ready up to prevent this, especially since queue times in quick play and normal are super fast. Another thing to add is a way to preventing playing the same people twice in a row. I've run into it a lot in competitive, where you'll play against the same people.
But damn it! Wait, is this the exact same team again?
I think it's the exact same.
I hate them. I'm going to boot out.
Remember their names?
Yeah, it's the
same people.
it's
Yeah,
the same
it's
people. And oftentimes this can lead into chain wins or chain losses. And I can't imagine how much of an issue this must be in higher ranks too. I've run into this in normals as well. So finding a way to prevent this could be really beneficial. My current fix is just to wait a minute before queuing again, but you don't want to feel like you have to do that after every loss to play different people. This could be a player-based issue, however, so I could see that being the issue. But regardless, if you want to experience the absolute most bugs in the game, just run around clicking buttons on the menu screen. I can assure you that you will run into several. The leaderboard doesn't really reflect an accurate representation of the top characters shown. If you flip through it a couple times, it starts glitching out really quickly, showing duplicates or just not changing from page to page. The store also has the same problem in the emote section, where if you flip through it, animations stop playing, and you'll be faced with a dead model staring at you versus the disappointed one you were supposed to see. The striker menu has two main problems, one being the affinity menu, which I really dislike, as you are allowed to use affinity coins on characters that you don't have, but if you try to claim them, they won't go into your account at all. Plus, after each game, sometimes it doesn't update, so you have to restart the client in order for it to update. From the striker menu as well, you can't buy a character, which could be changed by changing the select button, which currently does nothing, on those characters to a purchase button that will bring you to their store page instead. Also, you have to go through the striker menu in order to access the emoticons, which is just weird to me. This leads to the fact that you have to go into settings in order to change your account's banner title and icon, which are not all ordered by what you own, which leads to confusion as to what you do own. I think these all could be fixed with a separate profile page where you could change all of those as well as your emoticons. It took a while for me and my friends to really figure out where everything is because nothing is intuitive. It's a guessing game beneath a ton of menus. You also don't really get a notification if something can be claimed. You manually have to go and do so. So I find myself checking the striker pass or affinities just whenever I feel like it, because not only do they take a while to update, but it doesn't automatically claim it for you, which a lot of games that have battle passes do. The UI just really leaves the worst taste in my mouth about this game. But, on a better note, the music is absolutely awesome. The current event right now is the Demon Duel, which is an EDM versus rock challenge. I chose Team EDM. Rasmus's theme is also genuinely amazing. Here's a quick tier list I made of the music in my opinion. Each character theme plays depending on who is the current MVP of the round. I highly recommend giving them all a listen. Do I think you should download Omega Strikers? If you've liked MOBA games like League of Legends, or have played Rocket League, absolutely. If not, why not? Do it too. It's a really easy game to pick up and play with friends. I like running customs with 6 of my friends, for example. With a few menu tweaks, I think this really could make out to be a great and accessible game. It overall, for its first season, proved to be super promising. Now, excuse me while I drown another 10 hours into the game trying to get to gold.